I'm Roopa from Center 10 Consulting. I work with companies to build their innovation cultures and help them develop new products and ideas. Sometimes innovation is all about making small bets. I have 4 tips on how you can build the habits that help you make those small bets consistently. So here's my first tip for you. Think like an entrepreneur or an owner. Companies that have their founders still involved tend to be very active in trying new things and staying very involved with their customer. How do you do this if you're a large company? Keep the story of the founder alive. Talk about how they tried things, failed, kept going. That's the spirit of experimentation. And what's my second tip for you? Maintain a discovery and learning mindset. No I knows, more tell me more. An environment where you're constantly querying and thinking tends to be one where you come up with hypotheses you're testing. That's a learning environment. And what's my third tip? It's all about immersion and observation. Large companies and small make the mistake of spending a lot of time on collecting data and then thinking about the data. Change that. Spend 90% of your time immersed in your customer's environment. Customers can tell you so much, but you will learn because you have that mental approach to your business that's different from them. And then take the next 10% of your time and rapid prototype. Test your idea, build a new product, build on your current product. 90% immersion, 10% prototyping, and then all the way back to immersion. And here's the 4th and final tip for you on this block. Maintain a design thinking approach. What does that mean? From the get-go, keep it clean, keep it simple, design in your head as you go along. That's when you get a product that works. So once more, 4 things you're going to do. Think like an owner, maintain a learning environment and a discovery mindset, immerse yourself, observe, and finally, keep a design thinking approach. Why build a high-octane network? I have 5 thoughts for you, but here's my top line. When tools like LinkedIn and Twitter constantly tell you how many people you know and influence, it takes away from the core of what makes a network work for you. My first tip for you on how to build a high-octane network: be relationship-oriented, not transactional. Some of my best relationships are with people I've met 15 years ago. People who know how you've evolved, people who know the context of your aspirations are the ones that will truly step up when they see you needing some guidance. When you reach out to help them, you have that same sense of understanding where they're going. Relationships matter. It's not about that last transaction. Here's the second insight. Build on shared values. What happens when you have these relationships that are not built on strong core values? You find yourself headed in different directions and basing your thoughts on very different assumptions. My favorite example was a couple of months ago when I had to get on a plane because a client needed me the next day in Germany, and I reached out to somebody I knew from ages ago and said, "Need you there. We need to work with a client on a very specific issue." This woman in Germany that I worked with was similar to me. We put the customer first. We made it all about client service. We knew that strategy and organization go together. We had a turnkey answer right away. Know your values, make sure your network is based on that values, and help that activate your network. Third point, respect the expertise around you. In this day and age, you can get smart about most things on Google, but when push comes to shove, you want that expert professional to help you. Know your experts and use them thoughtfully and engagingly. The 4th one is interesting. It's about joy. Take joy in each other. Make sure you can have fun together. I used to be skeptical about the airport test, which sometimes people use in interviews. I worry about whether that'll, make you choose people who look exactly like you. That's not the point of this. If you're stuck in an airport together, you have enough to keep going, to keep talking, because that means you have the basis of a relationship. This is about being able to engage around content and caring about each other enough and being able to be on the same platform at the same time. My 4th pointer, make sure you can actually enjoy each other's company. When push comes to shove, when you're in the midst of a piece of work that requires a lot of effort, you really need to get to enjoy that hard piece of work. The airport test is a great test If you can spend time with each other, if you miss your plane, it means that you actually would get along, and that's important in a network. My fifth and final tip for you, be generous. When you have somebody who has the same values, you have a long relationship with, you enjoy, and you're able to engage with for their expertise, be generous. Refer them to others who can use their expertise. You know they'll do the same for you. So here's where I stand on retail. It's storytelling, it's not selling. The best retail firms have been great at storytelling. I remember my first experience in New York City 15 years ago, like it was yesterday. Walking past those display windows and seeing this story being told about a person in a jungle. It was certainly about selling the purse and the necklace and the perfume, but the story was about empowerment and adventure. It sticks with you. Less than 10% of American purchases are made online. Most customers that you talk to will tell you they've been online to understand what their options are, to understand what the new trends are, to look at new products. So what happens when you have a very dissonant experience inside your store, online, perhaps on the phone? You lose this customer because they learn to expect a certain experience. What do I want to see more of? I enjoyed my time in Uniqlo. It's like walking into a website. You can ask the associate your search option. You can look around you and toggle through colors. It's in front of you. You go from department to department very naturally. You can build an outfit by walking through a corridor. That is an immersive, cohesive experience, because guess what? That's what their website looks like. So, what do I want some of my favorite retailers to do? I'd like Saks Fifth Avenue to bottle my experience with Jasmine 15 years ago. This woman spent 20 minutes with me and made me spend more than I could afford on a skincare regimen that I keep to till today. I go online, it's not Jasmine. What do I want IKEA to do on the other end of the spectrum? Have you been in an IKEA store? You walk along those arrows, they help you experience what your new kitchen would look like. Go online, it's all about search. It's not the way to help somebody experience the IKEA experience. 68% of online shopping carts are abandoned. The primary reason is that people don't find what they think they expect to find. At those kind of numbers, you see why building a cohesive experience and story makes financial sense. It's about storytelling, folks. Get with it.